in standard 7th. Today we are going to have our second part of chapter number 5, agriculture, industry and transportation. So here last time we have learned about different things about agriculture. We have learned like 70% of the people are engaged in India in agriculture. So nowadays you know that the different industries, and because of the mills and industries development, today we are having a great change in agricultural field. So last time we have learned about agriculture in India, that is the normal or unirrigated agriculture also, and it depends on the climate, it depends on the soil, okay, and how much the water it is getting. So according to its facility the crops grow, okay. So here we have learned about the normal agricultural crops, or we can say the unirrigated crops for the agriculture. So here the agricultural which is dependent on the monsoon is called normal or unirrigated agriculture. So last time already we have seen about it, okay, and we were discussing that there are some of the crops like millet and sorghum. So what they need? They need less water, so it is only dependent on the monsoon season, okay. Most of the farmers are having their crops, they are growing their crops, especially the sorghum and millet, during the time of monsoon region. So also we have last time discussed about our country different crops that already written in the bottom part. You can see here there is a chart, and in the bottom part of our country's map, that is different crops are given here, and different symbols are there, okay. So there are symbols of sorghum, millet, corn, groundnut, wheat, sugarcane, cotton, jute, rice, tea. So these are the different crops which is found in our country in different areas having different climate. So last time we have discussed about it. We have seen different area which is growing a plenty of crops. So here last time we have learned about the sorghum and millet. So right now in the second point we are going to learn about the corn. Corn is used as a grain and as fodder for animals. It is mainly grown in Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. So the northern part especially, okay, and one of the part which is located in the southern part, that is Karnataka, okay. So here as we talk about especially the northern part, that is Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh, okay. So especially in this all areas we can see maize growing in a plenty, and so it is only said about that means about the corn, that it is mainly grown in this area, and it is also used for the fodder for the animals, okay. So animals are also eating this, and this is the thing about the corn, okay. Now we see about the groundnut. Groundnut requires less rain to grow. Gujarat is the leading producer of groundnut in India. It is also grown in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, okay. So here as we talk about the groundnut, it is a We can see most of the groundnut is grown in the part of Gujarat. Okay, other than that, it is grown in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so 50% of the edible oil is extracted from the groundnut. So half of the percent of the oil, okay, which we are eating, most of the people are eating the groundnut oil. Okay, so there are different oil. Okay, but as we can see that most of the people are 50% of the people are extracted from groundnut. Okay, so they are using edible oil like of made from specially groundnut. Okay, and after that, here we are going to learn about dry farming. Okay, so first we have seen about the normal unirrigated agriculture crops. Okay, that was millet. Then we have seen about the corn and the groundnut. Now we are going to see about the dry farming. Okay, so in that dry farming, during the monsoon season, water is collected in low-lying areas. Dry farming is practiced in such areas. Wheat grows well in such area. So here it is said about the dry farming. So especially in the monsoon season, water is collected in low-lying area. Okay, so dry farming is practiced in such area. Wheat grows well in such area. So here the water of the monsoon season is collected, okay, in low-lying areas, and dry farming practice in such areas. So there is always dry farming is done. That is most of the time people means that farmers are mostly using water. Okay, and you know that if you want to grow wheat, then you need more and more plenty of water. Okay, so here in dry farming, you know that there is a plenty of water. It is so most of the people are storing water. Okay, and that is specially of rainwater they are storing. They are having wells and canals and all like that things. Okay, so here every time they use water in that type of area. Okay, then irrigation farming, the land where the farming is done through irrigation, that is wells, lake, canals, etc., is called irrigation farming. See, irrigation, okay, what is there here? Ki specially the water is means it is having the facility of the water is getting from well, canal, or rivers. Okay, so etc. So that is known as irrigation farming. Okay, and here we can see that in India, on 30% of the land, irrigation farming is carried out. So in our country, that if we see 30% of the farmers are using irrigation facility. Okay, so that is a must, because the only source of water by what the farmers can get is only and only the canals or wells or whatever the needful things. Otherwise, if they only depend on monsoon season, then they can't get more water. Okay, so they should need the different sources for getting water. Okay, so that is why they are using canals, rivers, and wells, etc. Okay, so here we have seen in dry farming that it is specially in the low-lying area the monsoon water is collected. Okay, and that is known, and that is used means that is used, most of the water is used in that area. So it is for a longer period it is dry. Okay, that is why it is known as dry farming. But if we see about the irrigation, then what is there? In irrigation, specially the system is used to get water. Okay, for example, wells, canals, river, etc., so that you can understand. Then sugar cane. India is leading producer of sugar cane in the world. Hot and humid climate is favorable for sugarcane. Sugarcane is grown in Punjab, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Haryana and Tamil Nadu. So as we talk about the sugarcane, it is mostly found in our country. Okay, in most of the area we can find sugarcane, and it is a leading producer of the world. Means most of the in the world, most of the area you can find sugarcane. Okay, and hot and humid climate is favorable for sugarcane, and means which climate is needed for sugarcane, and hot and humid climate is needed for the sugarcane. And I think so in Gujarat also we are having, then Punjab, it is a lot of sugarcane is grown over there, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Haryana and Tamil Nadu. Okay, so these are the area which is producing more sugarcane in our country. Then the cotton. Cotton crops take 6 to 8 months to get ready. The sky should be clear when it is harvested. It is mainly grown in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana and Punjab. So most of the names whatever we are talking about is Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, UP, Bihar. So in this type of area, no, means especially in the northern part of our country and the center part of our country, no, they are having different crops. Okay, like Maharashtra, Gujarat and Bihar and Haryana. Okay, you can see there most of the crops are growing over there. Different climate is possible over there, means different crops are grown. So here 6 to 8 months it take to grow the cotton. Okay, and it is specially grown in different areas which we have seen before only, and that is Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana and Punjab. Okay, now we are going to learn about the third point, that is jute. Jute crops takes 8 to 10 months. See here we have seen about the cotton, it takes 6 to 8 months, but here jute is taking 8 to 10 months to get ready. And here we have seen also that cotton is taking, means it is harvested especially when the sky is clean. Okay, and jute, here we can see that it takes 8 to 10 months to get ready. The harvest stem of the jute fiber is first tied together and soaked in water to soften. So first it is after harvesting, okay, after taking it out from the agricultural field, what is done for the jute, it is just what we can say soaked in water. Okay, so this jute is just soaked in water to make it smoother. Okay, so here the fibers are then stripped from these stalks in long stands and washed in clear running water. Then they are hung up and spread on the thatched roof to dry. So here what is the another process? It is also washed. Okay, it is cleaned in a running water or a clean water. It is cleaned. Okay, so after cleaning it, it is kept on the roofs of the hut. You can see that, or it is kept for drying. Okay. So here they get means then they are hung up or spread on thatched roofs to dry. Jute is grown in West Bengal, Assam, Bihar and Odisha. See, jute is a special crop of, we can see it is only growing in some of the areas like Assam, Bihar, Odisha and West Bengal. Okay. So after this, here we have learned about dry farming also. Okay, and as we learn about the groundnut, then dry farming. See here in dry farming, actually what is there ki during the monsoon season, the water is collected in low-lying area. Dry farming is practiced in such areas. Wheat grows well in such area. See, actually, dry means what? It is drought. Okay, it is just like not having water. So that is why these people are just storing the water of monsoon season. Okay, during the monsoon season they are storing the water and then they are using this water for agricultural field. Okay, so that is why here wheat grows well in such areas. Okay, and many of the area in dry area we see then the wheat is growing well. Okay, and then we have seen about irrigation farming, then sugarcane, then cotton. Okay, so here specially as I want to tell you about dry farming that before I have told you that it need plenty of water. Okay, the wheat need more water to grow, but here these people are storing the water and then they are using it. Okay, now as we see as we have seen about the jute, then now paddy. Paddy is an important crop of India. It is the staple diet of most of the Indians. It is grown in West Bengal, Bihar, Punjab, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. So here we talk about the paddy. It is an important crop of our country. Okay, paddy. So most of the people of our country used to eat this paddy. It is a staple diet of our country. We can say like that. And it is grown in different areas like most of the area like West Bengal, Bihar, Punjab, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. Okay. Then fourth point, the plantations. So here as we have seen about the 3 points. Okay, that was first we have seen about the normal or the unirrigated agriculture. So in that normal and unirrigated agriculture we can see millet, then sorghum, then we can see corn and groundnut. Okay, so these are the unirrigated agriculture product. Okay, or we can say the normal product. Then the another product is dry farming. So in dry farming also different product like such as wheat. Okay, wheat is coming in dry farming. Then irrigation. The next thing we learn about the third point was about the irrigation, and irrigation means what the which we are having the facility to just to in the from the agricultural field we have to make water to from the different areas like means different things like canals, then rivers. Okay, and so such things are used for irrigation farming. Okay, that the farmers are using this water from the canals and lakes and wells and etc. So irrigation you know about that. Now sugar cane. In this form, for especially which are the crops? See, here we have seen 3 crops in the first one. Okay, in the first one we have seen 3 crops. That is the sorghum, okay, or corn or groundnut. That is normal agriculture. Then dry farming we can see the crops like wheat. Then irrigation farming we can see different crops like first one that is sugar cane, second we have seen the cotton, and the third one jute. Okay, and the fourth one is paddy. So this is coming in which? In irrigation farming. So wherever the irrigation have been done, there this type of crops are growing more. So now we learn about the plantation. So in plantation, when certain crops are grown in the garden method and taken care of as garden, it is called the plantation. It includes tea, coffee, fruit orchards, then vegetables, coconut palms, etc. So here it is written about the plantation, and when certain crops are grown in the garden method and taken care as a garden. Okay, it is called the plantation. So here certain crops are grown. like a garden method. So especially you have seen about the garden, that means you have seen the field where the coffee and all like this product teas and are growing. Okay, so that type of you can see, no, that type of area is just like a garden. In the garden also, if you go, then you will see lot of plants and like that only, grass area. And so here in the same way, in this also plantation also we have the same area, like special, it is specially grown for tea, then fruit orchards, then coffee, vegetables, and coconut palms, etc. So, as we talk about the tea is grown on the slopes of the mountains where the forests are cleared. Waterlogging near the roots of the tea plant is harmful for the plantation. That is why it is grown on the mountain slopes. Assam produces maximum tea. Beside Assam, tea is produced in West Bengal, Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So especially as we talk about the eastern part of our country, and if we talk about the southern part of our country, then we can see that we can see this type of crops. Okay, and the area is also such type that the mountaineer area, and like that the plateaus are more or mountains are more in that area. Okay, so you can see especially in Assam also, okay, the plantations of tea, and just like that area you can see over there. Okay, after that so here slope of the mountains, it is specially seen, and Assam produces maximum tea. Beside Assam, tea is produced in West Bengal, then Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So that we have already seen. Then now here, things to know. India is the leading producer of tea in the world. Discovery of coffee plant. Kaldi daily took his goats for grazing. He was fed up with the frolicking of goats. One day he ate the fruit of the plant which his goats were eating, and he also felt fresh. Thus he introduced coffee to the world. Coffee is produced in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Okay, so here one story is there. Okay, so it is a discovery of for the coffee plant. Okay, so see, in our country, India is producing most of the tea for the world. Okay, and as about the story, as we see, you know about the people, those who are having cattle rearing. Okay, they are doing cattle rearing, and specially for that they are taking their goats and like that the animals to cattle the ground. Okay, so they are going over there, and one day what happened, one person was there and his name was Kaldi. So he was every day going taking their goats to grazing. Okay, and one day what happened, whatever the grass his crops were eating, one day he also started to eat that fruit. Okay, means he just checked that let us have the taste of this, how means these goats are eating this, let us try it to us also. And this way he took the plants of or we can say the fruit of this what we can say, these plants. Okay, so after he ate this, he got it taste. Okay, and then it is said that after that the product after this the producing of coffee and tea is done. Okay, so it is a small story. It is said like this, and especially in Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, tea is growing more. Now we talk about the irrigation. Monsoon in India is irregular and uncertain. Most of the states experience scanty rainfall for a short period of time. Due to uncertain rainfall, more than one crop is rarely grown on an entire portion of the land. Hence, to increase agricultural production, irrigation is necessary. So here it is said about the irrigation that in our country, India, okay, there is no fixed time for the monsoon, okay, it is coming, sometime it is coming earlier, sometime it is late, but we can't say anything about it. So that is why the irrigation facility should be there, okay, and as we have seen from our ancient age only, that the people were using to make different lakes, okay, before the monsoon come, okay, they were storing the water, okay, in the lakes, or they are getting the river, okay, there are natural rivers also, okay, and they were making the wells also, okay. So because of that, the people can store the water, okay, they can store the water, and here we can see that so this way, due to uncertain rainfall, more than one crop is rarely grown on an entire portion of the land. Hence, to increase the agricultural production, irrigation was necessary, and that is why it is necessary, because we have to grow more and more crops, okay, because the population is increasing day by day, okay, and people needs more and more food. So because of that, we have to grow more and more agricultural products, okay, and it is very necessary for us, okay. So here especially we have to grow more and more this type of products, so that is why irrigation facilities have been done, okay. So here one another map is also there, we will just look for that. This is the map of India, okay, and here there are given rivers and dams, okay. So you can see in your textbook also, see here you can see the blue lines, just like rivers and dams, okay. So you can see in this is the symbol of river. In the first one, it is a symbol of river. It is just in Y shape, okay, and other than that, if you want to see the dam, then you can see the another symbol, okay. So these two symbols, so here wherever the red markings are there, there are different dams, and also the rivers are there in many areas, you can see in our country. So see here, lot of the dams are there, lot of the rivers are there, but most of the dams we have seen in our Gujarat. See here, there are near to Gujarat, there are totally 4 dams, big dams, and we know about the Narmada, it is very big, okay. Then Sardar Sarovar is there, okay. Then in Rajasthan also Indira Gandhi Canal, that we have already learned in last year, okay. And here there are different. Here in the eastern side, you can see the Damodar dam, okay, and Hirakud just down of the near to Bengal, okay, near to Bay of Bengal, and here in the south also you can see the Kaveri dam is there, and this way in our country there are different dams, okay, and which is specially made for irrigation. So we are having different rivers, okay. So from the rivers, dams are made, okay, by the government, okay. So after this, here you can do one thing at your home as you are sitting over there. So make a list of a dam constructed on the main rivers of India, discuss their usefulness. So you can just look at this map, okay, and from this map you can search different names of the dams, okay, and you can write in your rough page, and you have to write something about that, okay, the benefits of the dam, okay, how the dam is useful for us, that you can write and in your own words, okay. So after this, so this much is okay for today, and the next part we are going to do in the next part in next lecture. So thank you.